Good afternoon and welcome to another episode by Decrypting Crypto and Breakout Solutions. I'm Wasim here with you guys again for our last live stream for the week, where we're going to cover everything that's happening in the news, Twitter, market updates, as well as adoption highlights. Again, this week we are looking at another interest rate hike coming out of the US, with the Federal Reserve interest rate now being the highest it's been in 22 years. Now, you've got to understand, this is actually pre the global financial crisis 2008. So we're going back all the way to 2001 right now. So we're reaching some really epic high interest rates that we haven't seen in a long, long time. What's that going to mean for the economy? What's that going to mean for us? We're going to also be looking at what's happening around the world with what Blackrock has been doing, what they've been saying behind the curtains, and nobody really knew about it, and now recently started to come to light, and to see that they have been accumulating and a lot more on Twitter as well as adoption. So without any further ado, I will start sharing my screen, and our first story for the day today is Fed approves hike rate that takes interest rate to the highest level in more than 22 years. The Federal Reserve approves a much anticipated interest rate hike that takes the benchmark borrowing cost to their highest level in more than 22 years. The 0.25% point increase will bring the Fed funds rate to a target range of 5.25 and 5.5. While policymakers indicate at the end of the June meeting that two rate hikes are coming this year, markets are pricing in better than even chance that there won't be any more for this year. Chairman Powell said that the central banks will make data-driven decisions on meeting-by-meeting basis. So we saw the market go up a little bit after this. They've been saying that even though the economy is slowed down, the inflation is slowed down a little bit, they're not at their 2% inflation rate that they're aiming for. So they're going to continue to raking hikes and causing more havoc in the market. And they're saying that there could be another one. However, the market is saying no, there isn't going to be another one. People are pricing another one, looks like it, but they are saying that there could be another one coming. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of months. There is another meeting in September. But overall, the markets did go up on the initial news, but then it just kind of fizzled out, really. All right, moving on. Let me get the banners up here, because I forgot to get the banners up. Just a reminder, guys, if you are interested to find out about what's happening with money, and I've been speaking about this, you guys have been seeing my lives on my Facebook and so forth. And there is a war on cash right now, not just in Australia, but all around the world, but more in Australia than anything else that we're talking about. But there is a lot of people, there's a lot of banks out there that are making it very, very hard for people to access their money. So we're going to be talking about all the things that you need to know about the future of money, how you can protect yourself, and how you can become sovereign financially. So we'd love to see you guys there. The link is down the bottom, as you can see, breakoutnow.co/future of money. We'd love to see you there. We've got over 120 something registrants last I looked. So it's going to be a pretty big event, and we're going to continue pushing this because we people need to know about what's going on. Next up, Blackrock. Now, if you guys remember all of the year last year with all the institutions pulling out or pulling away from crypto, there's a lot of FUD out there about crypto and about Bitcoin, which made Bitcoin go down to almost there's just over 15,000. There was people calling it $12,000 Bitcoin. This now it's come out that this was published by Blackrock back in 2022, in early 22 actually. And I actually downloaded this report and I had a look at it. And on page 10, basically Blackrock says 84.9% should be the allocation of Bitcoin, and the other 15.1% should be in other assets. Now, when you've got a company as big as BlackRock who are now coming into the market with an ETF, even though it hasn't been approved yet, but if it does get approved, and chances are it will, BlackRock has a really good history of getting ETFs approved. I think it's like 500 something to one that wasn't approved. Plus, there were the ones that brought in the gold ETF back in the 70s, and back then, gold market cap was under $1 trillion or around $1 trillion. It is $12 trillion right now. These guys are going to be out there, and all their sales agents, all their minions are going to be out there telling people to put money into Bitcoin. Now, what do you think is going to happen to an ETF like that? It's going to grow exponentially. It's going to explode. And that's all money coming into Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin. So for me, when you've got a company as big as BlackRock saying to people and putting out reports where they're suggesting 84.9% of the assets should be Bitcoin, then that to me is great news and very, very bullish news. Once this gets approved, the Bitcoin price is going to go through the roof. So you make sure that you are accumulating while you can. Last one for the news highlights today, and I thought I put that up, but anyway. Why is this up here? Okay, so Italian central bank backed hub taps Polygon and others to bring TradFi deeper into DeFi. So basically, they started to realize that DeFi is what people want. DeFi doesn't have to rely on banks and third-party and counterparty risk. So they're trying to find ways in which they can make them interoperable. One of the ways that they are doing this was using is one of the biggest things that they're really focusing on as to what's stopping institutions from getting in is the whole thing around the privatization, the anonymity and whatnot. So they're going to bring in things like KYC. They're going to bring in things like the anti-monetary laundering laws and all that kind of stuff. So they want to try and control it from that way, which for me is actually against DeFi. I personally won't be going into protocols that do that. I hope there'll always be protocols that there'll always be the same protocols will have a completely decentralized application. If not, there's going to be, we're starting to create two more different financial systems. One that is KYC, the one that isn't. All right, moving on to the market update, and let's look at the crypto bubbles and what's been happening over the past week. We've been seeing a sea of red. A lot of the tokens have had a pullback. There hasn't been much news in the market. There hasn't been much movement. Bitcoin hasn't moved a lot either. It has dropped down a little bit on its dominance. But I think last week when I reported, it was still around 29,170 something, 100 something. So it hasn't moved. It's been just going sideways. And we've spoken about this. Bitcoin does that. It doesn't move, goes sideways, does another move, then goes sideways, especially in the bear market. It's not a bull market where it's going to continue going up or continue going down. Bitcoin does go sideways at some stages, and it can be quite boring. I get it. Looking at the grid and feed, we are at 52, so we're still neutral. Like I said, the market isn't overly excited right now. It's a little bit boring out there, but that's a great time to be accumulating. I like it when it's stable. I like it when it's quiet because I can predict, I'm I want to get money on this day, I should be able to get that much. When it's too unvolatile, your stress level goes up a bit, right? So it's good. We'll be able to accumulate. I mean, we should be accumulating all the time. I accumulate no matter what, but I'd like it when the prices are down, I get a bit more Bitcoin. Next up, we're looking at our Twitter highlights, and first up from Kiyu Rohit, and he said, breaking news, huge win for the US crypto community. 2 crucial crypto bills passed the House Financial Services Committee in the thread. So the first one is just passed 2 crucial bills to bring much needed clarity for the crypto world. The first one was around the rules for firms when they register a commodity futures trading commission. So this basically provides clarity for businesses or for crypto tokens to be able to prove enough decentralization and so forth to be able to register as a commodity, not as a security. So it's a bit more clarity about what the SEC has been doing. There's been quite a number of American Congress people who have been, writing against the SEC. So this is a good move forward. The next one is miners, decentralized finance platforms, and more will benefit from the clear regulation, which is around the effort to remove hurdles for blockchain developers and service providers. So this is another one that looks at designed to remedy concerning financial action task force. Proposed guidelines that threaten to stifle blockchain innovation in the United States and send it overseas. So as you guys know, there's been a lot of big crackdowns here. Now they're starting to pivot. They're starting to change the tune. And you'll see this a lot with crypto and with countries. When they can try to put the pressure on it, they will. Whenever there's a bear market, they'll try to get as much FUD out there. But once we're coming into the bull market, they have to change their stance. So America is starting to change their stance a little bit, which is great. Looking over to Miss Crypto T here, wrong one. And she said, are we bullish on the next election? See, this is why things are changing, because the next election is going to be a very, very Bitcoin and crypto is going to play a big part of the next election. All right. We said this. I said this last year. A lot of these guys have been talking. So Donald Trump has an NFT collection. I don't like Donald Trump, to be honest, because I won't get into that right now, but his NFT collection, he still talks about Bitcoin. So I don't have a lot of faith in him. Robert F. Kennedy has come out and said that he will back the US dollar Bitcoin, but he said 1%. So I'd like to see how that happens. I've seen some other videos of his I didn't like. Ron DeSantis says he will ban central bank currencies on his first day, and Francis Suarez receives his entire salary in Bitcoin. These 2 guys down here, I'm probably a bit more favored towards. My personal thing, I need to do a bit more research about them, but they've been in the crypto space for a little while. They didn't just come in last moment. All right, and last one from Wall Street Silver is around this guy, Mitch McConnell, who basically froze. Like I can't play the video. I can't play the video, but you guys aren't about to hear it. But he basically froze during an interview. Like these guys are getting so old. Joe Biden, this guy's 81. Biden's 80. We've seen all the things that he's done. So this next election in America is going to be quite interesting to see what happens. All right, moving on to our adoption highlights. And great news coming out of Tokyo. Well, we've got Binance coming back into the market. They didn't get a license back in 2018. As you guys remember, I mentioned this maybe a couple of months ago now, where Binance acquired a crypto exchange in Japan called the Sakura Exchange Bitcoin, which was already registered. Now, the reason why the crypto regulation was very, very clear in Japan. It's actually what saved FTX Japan, and why people in Japan didn't lose their money. Because in Japan, they've got very, very clear regulation for centralized exchanges where they can't commingle funds. So they can't commingle their funds and the customer's funds. The customer funds has to be completely separate. And this is one of the biggest reasons, or is the reason why FTX Japan was able to pay back all their customers their money. Now, when Binance bought Sakura Exchange Bitcoin, I think it was like last month or something. Or in May, they shut it down and said to take all their stuff off, and then they're relaunching again in September. Going to start trading in December. There's going to be full KYC and whatnot. So big news for Binance. They keep pushing forward regardless of what's happening to them in the US. Okay, next up we've got Cointelegraph with Namibia signs crypto exchange regulation law bill into law. Now, again, this is another country that's changing its stance. So this country banned crypto completely back in 2017, but now they're actually having virtual asset service provider licenses. They've got regulation happening now. They're going to start allowing exchanges to be back in there. South Africa's done the same thing, where a lot of the service providers over there have to get licenses by the end of the year. So there's a lot of regulation that's happening in South Africa. Other countries in Africa in general, other countries such as Botswana, Kenya, Mauritius, and Seychelles have positive cryptocurrency regulation. Now, what did really concern me about this was Central African Republic has actually repealed their Bitcoin legal tender, which I think is a big mistake. So we'll see what happens there. But we still have some African countries such as Cameroon, Ethiopia, Lesotho, Liberia, Republic of Congo, Sierra Leone, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe still have bans on crypto. All right, and last but not least, we have Singapore has recognized cryptocurrencies as property, as ruled by and has ruled in favor of ByBit. So this was a ByBit employee, Miss Ho, who basically stole $4.2 million of USDT from the exchange, as well as sending some money directly to her bank account. So they've then taken her to court to get that money back and those assets back. And the judge said that crypto is a property that can be held in a trust, and therefore has won the case for ByBit. That's it from me today, guys. Last reminder, again, make sure you join Future of Money, breakoutnow.co/Future of Money. Would love to see you guys there. It's in less than 1 week right now, and we're going to go hard. We're going to go through some amazing details that a lot of people have no idea what's happening out there. If you're concerned about what's happening about money, you've got to be at this event. So we'd love to see you there. And until Tuesday, peace out, stay crypto, and have a great weekend. Bye.